and I say I'm Coptic, they get a kind of puzzled look, or they kind of just, oh, nod their head. And then I ask, you know what that means? Like, no. So I like to try to kind of break it down in a funny way. I first start with a very important question. I say, have you watched my big fat Greek wedding? And a lot of people laugh, like, yeah, of course. I said, okay, well, they're Greek Orthodox. You know Greek Orthodox? I said, yeah, I know Greek Orthodox. I said, okay, well, Coptic Orthodox means Egyptian Orthodox. Coptic means Egyptian. So you can have, depending on a nationality, you can have Russian Orthodox, Greek Orthodox, Coptic Orthodox, Syrian Orthodox, and so forth. And they say, a lot of times, oh, so you're Jewish, because you said Orthodox. I said, no, it's Christian. So I've learned now to say, well, I'm Christian, Coptic Orthodox, so that they know already what category does it go into. People want to know what box should they put you in.
St. Mark came to Egypt in the year 43. He brought us the teachings about Christianity, and with the invasions of Arabs coming into Egypt, that started making it difficult because of many things. One thing being the persecution. Despite of all the persecution that the Christians of Egypt have gone through, whether it was under the Muslim persecution after the invasion, or even prior to that under the Roman persecution at the time of people like Diocletian and others who severely persecuted the Christians and killed mass numbers of them, were able to still maintain a pretty large number of Christians among a non-Christian society.
Christian in Egypt believe inside, like, Jesus is we're here and come to save the world. Too نظام cross, نظام صليب من فوق لتحت.
Yeah, he say like all the Christian in Egypt, he do the cross to show everybody I'm Christian and I don't scare for anybody.
I think a lot of times when people come to a Coptic church for the first time, they're wondering why there's so many crosses in the church itself. Why do we do the sign of the cross so many times? What is it about the cross? Doesn't it represent death and sadness, and it's a crucified Christ? But for us, for the Coptic Church, for Orthodoxy, really, the cross is this amazing representation of victory. It's not death. It's victory that Christ was on the cross. He died, but he resurrected. There's that part of the story that we never forget. Through Adam and Eve sinning by partaking of a tree that they weren't supposed to, well, that wood regains glory and victory because Christ comes on it and he defeats death.
Even looking at the scriptures and the three friends of Daniel in the book of Daniel, Ananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, they encountered the presence of God inside the fiery furnace. And whenever we are cast into a fiery furnace, in whichever way or form that may be, we do feel more and more of the presence of God.
There's something different about being, I feel, on in Coptic land, in Coptic ground. You know that there's history, you know that it's biblically rooted, you know it's historic, and it has a different sense. So when I'm standing in the churches, a lot of times I would just stop singing and just listen, and I could hear just the whole church filled with singing and hymns.
3 mosques, but in the church is hard. And they say you have to take like approved from the government and approved for the city, approved from everywhere, like 100 approved. And after he give approved, he built the church, and after that come and broke the church.
The government like 1 or 3 security just for church. For musical, never you can see any security, because the government knows the Christian can't do anything for the Muslim, but the government knows the Muslim can do anything for his church.
This is the voice that the Christians in Egypt don't have.
For what we believe in. It's for somebody to be able to practice their faith, to be able to go safely to Christmas liturgy and come back home safe. It's just a very simple right for any individual.
We're trying to just protest for our fellow Coptic Christians in Egypt. They're being massacred, and so it's just very unjust. And our Christian faith should not be hidden, and it's not against the law.
Although Christians in Egypt are persecuted, but we do see more smiles on their faces than we see on the faces of non-persecuted Christians or Copts that live outside of Egypt. And again, that affirms that joy that really God gives to those people that are going through the sufferings with Him. Coming to the United States, maybe we don't so much feel the persecution as we used to feel it and see it in Egypt. People here in America, they can dress any way they want and walk in the street. Nobody's going to bother them. People could say that they are Christian, and that's not going to play a factor whether they get hired or not get hired into a job.
Nobody asks anybody, are you Christian or Muslim, or like that. And I've been here like 5 years, nobody asks me, you're Christian, you're Muslim. Here in the ID, in America, we don't have like Christian or Muslim.
We do face another type of persecution, and that is the persecution against Christian morals and Christian behavior. If a young boy or girl decides that they would like to keep themselves pure until after marriage, they may be perceived in the society as weird, as strange. If people speak of Christ or of Bible teachings, often they are made fun of.
Can you talk to a Muslim about Jesus?
Yeah, I did before, but I don't like that, because all the Muslim doesn't believe for Jesus. When you took anybody, you should be know he can accept or no. If he doesn't accept, maybe he do something bad for me. Just depends. If you know this guy, this person. Some people believe but scared to change to Christian, to be transformed from Muslim to Christian. He can do or she can do, but the government, if the government kill him. Oh, don't talk. You wanna transform, okay, but after that you kill. And the first question in Egypt, not what's your name. The first question in Egypt, are you Christian or Muslim?
Are you worried about your family in Egypt?
Yeah, for sure. But I believe in my God, all the people in Egypt, but all people waiting to my God do something for all people to do something for Christian in Egypt. But it will do, but when? Nobody don't know, but this soon.